Welcome to the SmackDown Preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture here to look at tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
Friday Night SmackDown.
Before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Frog.
We do daily wrestling podcasts where we're not going to review SmackDown, but also the show formerly known as NXT 2-Play. Frog! AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete. A bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett here to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
Who are we saluting?
More cinema tonight?
Well, the thing is, like, sequels in general rarely outstrip the quality and the magic of the original.
Mission Impossible 2.
Ghostbusters 2. However, even an on-fire creatively WWE might not be able to match the majesty and excitement of last week's.
Show it again.
Well, I mean, they did it on Raw.
SmackDown Raw, SmackDown again.
Just keep showing it as the singular build between now and Bad Blood.
Works for me.
I tell you what I like about whatever else they do with Cody and Roman is, and I don't want this to be, I was going to say I don't want this to be confirmed, but then I guess it can change and probably will change up to the day of the show. One of my favourite little stories from this, we covered the news most this week together.
Indeed.
So if people want to see our more serious side,
Exactly.
you can do so on the WhatCulture Wrestling main channel. One of my favourite
Want to know what really happened on that flight with Shane McMahon and the Young Bucks? Check out the news.
A couple of Trevor McDonuts right here. Probably get one of them from Cutie Pies. So the one of my favourite stories from the week was a relatively low stakes one for right now, but the stakes are going to ramp up in the weeks to come, which is what's going to be the Bad Blood main event. You could sense a fight building between the two camps. I kind of feel like I've got a foot in both because I've been a big defender of, not that it needed it much, but I was a big defender of Punk and Drew when I think like probably 50% of the people turned on it around like SummerSlam.
Incorrectly, yeah.
Incorrectly, totally agree. Bracelet stuff. But it's kind of, they've sort of found, I wouldn't say the peak, but they've found an unexpected new peak in time for Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two promos have been very well received over the last 2 weeks at the cut where it's all getting serious. They've both just said, I'm going to make you bleed. Yeah, well, I'm going to make you bleed. So that's WWE saying, we're going to make them bleed. Right? So that's sort of been promised. And then this tag match, this, I guess like the assumptions were going to be that there would be some big thing in War Games. There was the likelihood that Roman and Solo was going to happen sooner rather than later after SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob has been protected in such a way that you imagined WrestleMania or somewhere big down the line that would be happening. I'm not so sure a lot of us forecast this tag match for right now, especially not on one of these signature Triple H 5-match cards where often Cody's match, if you have got something like serious for the main event, Cody's had no problem opening the show.
No.
And it'd be absolutely red hot. Or even in, for an example, like when you had Randy and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Bloodline stuff is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These SmackDown big main events, big stories have been, like, you can shove them at the opener of the PLE and then you can have like a world heavyweight title match or Gunther stuff or Punk stuff or whatever. And it all sort of works. It all feels quite, it's Bloodline, it's serious, but it's a bit of fun. Roman stepping back into the mix has immediately made it part of the headline conversations. Like, right, you can't do Cody, I don't know, Cody and Randy versus the Guerrillas of Destiny. Like, you could put that on the opener of a show.
Yeah.
Cody and Roman versus Solo and Jacob. You can't. You kind of have to put that on last.
Especially in Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah. But what else is Bad Blood even on the calendar for because of the anniversary of the first Hell in a Cell? It's on the same day, isn't it? And it just, I'm fascinated by that. And that's a very long-winded way of me saying, what do they do to, like, what do the wrestlers do in work and shoot to basically get that spot? Because last week, Roman and his 28 cars and Cody and his 28 anecdotes about Atlanta stood on that football pitch effectively saying, we're bigger than life. We're bigger than everybody. You can't do this with many wrestlers, but you can do it with these two. I've seen and heard people saying, well, why couldn't it just been an in-ring promo? Because you haven't got enough imagination, that's why. Like, do it in a football stadium, make it as nonsensical as you want, because there are so few wrestlers that feel like they're 100-foot tall statues of themselves, and these are them. What do they do now they are back in the ring, now they are back in the traditional setting, to convince whoever needs convincing that they should go on last? I, for one, think it should go on last anyway.
I disagree.
Which I love this, by the way, because I think I want it to go on last for the reasons that you would typically like a bloodline match. I don't think that like a lot of this match will be as exciting as the graphic suggests. And then I think the last 5 minutes are going to have you like blacking out and then coming back around and blacking out all over again. Smelling salt's faint. Smelling salt's faint. I cannot
so wait. Many reasons I've flashed back to Money in the Bank now. Yeah. What a night that was.
I cannot.
Not just the show, our night out afterwards.
The whole deal. I cannot wait for like the multiple different peaks of this match when the wrestlers hit them. Like, and whatever the climax is going to be, whatever the result, whatever the big thing that takes us into Survivor Series and the Rumble and beyond. But that to me fits better in a slot when I have absolute faith that Drew McIntyre and CM Punk are going to kind of critically steal the show.
Yeah. I think for all the reasons you listed regarding Bad Blood, Legacy, not the Cody stable, Hell in a Cell, etc. And I don't think Cody and Roman are saying we need to go in the main event. I think this is...
Or they are, and it's making a point maybe now, because it never hurts to kind of remind people of you.
Do you? It's not like, well, that must be big time. They're in the main event. They're WrestleMania headliners guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And they've had a lot of main events. And I get it, yes, you're in Atlanta and what have you, and these are hometown guys.
Yeah.
But surely it's not like people can go, well, that's what I came for. Thanks very much, I'm off. No one's leaving. No one's going anywhere.
No. They're massive matches. Like do you know what this draws parallels?
And I think you're in danger of really winding Punk up too much to Sidge's theory.
Are you a bit more nervous of how he kind of doesn't?
I mean, he's a good lad, and I don't think he'd unless someone I don't know, like went out there and went into business for themselves, he never really snap on people unnecessarily. So, and I think he's getting a WrestleMania main event next year.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
It's the culmination of a 3 pay-per-view match feud. It's Bad Blood. It's Hell in a Cell.
10 months. It was the night after the Rumble it started proper.
Yeah, and literally, in a couple of months' time, Cody and Roman probably, in all likelihood, are going to main event one of the big 4 inside War Games.
Yeah. I think it's... I love watching this play out because what you are seeing...
But I think they may well go with Roman and Cody, by the way, for the main event.
What you were seeing is like kind of what you want, which is when business is as hot as it is, people who believe they belong in the top spots of that hot business want in those spots. And, I don't know if years from now we'll hear about people trying to cut each other's throats and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily campaigning for going back to the days of our day, man, in the locker room, but... the competitive energy and what it means to main event, all that sort of thing. What I was going to say before, do you remember, and my word, what a difference in 2 WWEs that brought us to an October pay-per-view where it was like, hang on, this on this. Do you remember No Mercy 2017?
Let's try not to.
Cena and Roman and Brock and Braun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Why are you doing this? And the build to both was pretty terrible, but it was the idea where like Braun and Brock is one of the biggest matches you have left for the title, and Braun could win it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing Cena and Roman right now, and then Cena just eviscerated Roman in that promo segment and all that. And they did them both, and the anointing of Roman felt fake, and Brock just looked like he did not want to do business with Braun. Mm-hmm. So it was like that was a defining moment for Braun Strowman's career, because it was just like, well, Brock Lesnar, the current Bull of the Woods, has just put you back in your box, and a lot of people in this company are never going to perceive you as a top guy again. That sort of stuff, that perception, even in 2 vastly different WWEs, still counts for something.
Yeah.
And Punk might, I don't wish to psychoanalyze wrestlers in general, but especially not CM Punk. He might look upon this situation, if he sat down day of and be like, we're going back and forth, we're going with the bloodline. Like, go out and steal the show, but tomorrow, if we're going
double juice,
we need to have a conversation, but this is what we're doing. Take it or leave it, that kind of thing. He might fizz about it. He might get that sort of art of wrestling type fists clenched thing where he said, when Triple H said, "Are you working with me, Punk? That's a WrestleMania main event." He's Like, for you, right there. You're working the Undertaker. That's the main event in a way. Don't take the piss out. I know what the main event of WrestleMania is. Like, at what point might he start to feel aggrieved? But that's your
getting on to a year since his return. I know he's been injured.
That's your sort of talent management thing. I've said it a lot about. I feel like the guy who feels like he's kind of mastered it a little bit is Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of marvel at how Seth Rollins navigates all of this when things happen to him that should be disastrous for your main event credibility, and yet he doesn't so much bounce back as he just remains so beloved by a big section of a big audience that he can be secure in himself and then rock back up. And then the company clearly, the 4th of 4 in the WrestleMania 40 build, the company sees him as like the best B+ player we've got. And Rollins is like, right, I might not love that, but every now and then I want history to prove me right, and I'm going to do something that makes you think you should have put me up there. That's awesome. I think in a way he's kind of won. Roman, Cody, Punk, select others depending on what Becky Lynch at one point, select others at certain times do not want to be the best B+ player. No. They want to be the tippy-toppy, as you sometimes say, the upper echelon, all that sort of stuff. And that's what, maybe Drew, maybe he's one of them now, I don't know. But I think that's like, and to tie it all back to SmackDown, sorry everybody for the serious wrestling conversation, though I do love this. What you get tonight and what you get next week on the go home, I think will be very telling, because the less you get of, say, a Roman Reigns, or the less Cody looks like he's engaged with the bloodline, and he is in fact engaged more with the Kevin Owens of it all and the background Randy Orton of it all. I think it'll be really interesting to see how they can try and maintain last week's. Like, that felt like a WrestleMania vignette, didn't it?
Yes.
It felt like all of a sudden we were a week away from Mania, and here we go. Like, the two main eventers back on the stage once again. How do they capture that in a way to try and win the argument that they should be the main event? Because if you're the main event of Bad Blood and you're getting War Games, like, this is what... The one thing we know is that CM Punk's probably not involved in War Games. Fair?
Yes.
He's probably nothing to do with any of the War Games matches. So if Punk knows he's not getting War Games, he's going to want that main event.
Yeah.
But Cody and Roman are going to want it, because it's like, well, if you don't put them in the main event, aren't you then marginalising our massive story? How do they...
I think it's just a phenomenal way to open Bad Blood. Like, looking at that card now, I think it's obvious what you do. I think you do Cody and Roman versus Bloodline to open.
Okay.
Just white hot. Then you could arguably run that into Liv and Rhea, Shark Cage, banter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, I get what you say. It's like it's a range thing, isn't it? Like,
follow that up with Damian and Finn.
That'll die.
That's middle of the card. Follow that up by, oh my God, I've forgotten to put the Queen out. I'm sorry, my Queen. I'll go and get her in a second.
Yeah. She's all right. She's okay.
Follow that up with a cash-in.
Okay, yeah.
And then conclude with, Double Juice, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And the justification, if you put that specifically in the main event as well, I don't know why this makes my brain think this way, but I think the wrestling fans would go along with me here. Punk wins, nice ending to the show, but then Punk and Drew have just near killed each other to close out this show, hence why they're both not going to Saudi.
Yeah. And that's Punk somehow...
I don't know why, if you put that in the middle of the show, that means that they could go to Saudi, but you know what I mean?
Somehow luckily gets to avoid going to Saudi for at least one more cycle of that until he eventually does, and then he has to eat a plate full of for that. Yeah, maybe. I don't even know which one I want. I think for the quality of the show, I think I want the Bloodline to go on last, but it's, I don't know. I'm really, really fascinated by this, and like, I feel like I've enjoyed reading people's takes on why one should go over the other as well. It's a selection headache. I've said about this. This is ultimately actually what you want when your top line is so stacked that you need to have these difficult decisions to make. You're in a good place.
You mentioned Kevin Owens there. What's going on with him? Randy Orton, him, Cody.
Yeah.
He's getting closer and closer to twatting Cody with a chair.
It was pretty awesome last week, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
Well, this is the thing. So to talk about Kevin, but to talk about Cody again, last time...
Oh, sorry, I dropped my phone.
For those that are listening on audio, Wilbourn has had a right nightmare picking his phone up off the... Oh, and now he's picked up off the floor while he was down there.
I found it.
Queen Nia, again, for our audio listeners only, you never see this.
Right, wait up.
He displays his Queen Nia picture for the duration of the SmackDown preview. Is your phone okay?
Professional. I don't care.
Okay, but you just care about the Nia Jax. Yeah, Kevin Owens, last time it looked as if he was... Remember he had the belt? Cody was in that really awesome face-to-face they had in the go-home, but I was like...
There's your belt, mate.
You're going to hit me with that. Let's talk about it. You're going to hit me with that. Does he not want to raise it again? He looked a lot like you're going to smack me with that steel chair. We good? Like because I've been worried that we're not good, and then we had the match, and you kicked my leg out of my leg, and we shook hands, so I thought we were good. You didn't look super good. And then Kevin Owens was like, you know what? I was good with you before the PLE. You put me in a spot. I didn't love it. We had the match. I didn't like that I went to that place, capital T, capital P. But you beat me fair and square. I respect you, Cody. And it's because I respect you that I can't respect your decision to stand alongside Roman Reigns. And Cody he's got perfect plausible deniability. Kevin, don't look at my side of the ring, look at the other. Who are we facing? The bloodline. You should understand more than anybody the sacrifices you have to make to fight a bloodline. Who was it, Kevin Owens, that convinced you to reunite with Sami Zayn to stop the bloodline? And what did you two do when you got to WrestleMania? You stopped the bloodline. You became tag team champions. What did I do 24 hours later? I failed to stop the bloodline because I didn't cover all the angles. What did I do 12 months later? I stopped the bloodline because I covered all the angles. We are here again, Kevin. You need to understand that in order to stop this even more vicious and psychotic version of the bloodline, I've got to cover all the angles. Roman Reigns has given me his word that he's going to allow me to cover all the angles. You have to understand where I'm coming from, Kev. And then Kevin Owens, as an underrated wrestling actor, sort of does the sort of, I think people listening and watching might understand this. You know, when you're in a bit of a fight with your better half. All right, fine.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Just doesn't sound like it. The words say that it's fine.
Sounds like it's never been less fine in all of its life.
I know what the spot is as well. I love this. I love that piece of book. You know what the spot is, don't you?
What's
they have this. They have it out like this. And then, bloody hell, here they come. No music, though. You just see maybe Jacob Fatu, or more likely, Tama Tonga or Tongaloa, or one of them, about to run in and attack Cody. And Kevin Owens swings the chair at Cody Rhodes, who ducks, and he twats one on the bloodline. And it's like, you know Cody was going to duck there? Or...
I'm covering all the angles. And
it's going to be so good when he's
there's no Roman, but I was there for you.
And then in a few weeks, when it's like he's going to do it this week because he's gone bloody. Do you know what? You know what? I've got a promo. I want to say something. Roman Reigns.
Hey! You all right?
And then Randy Orton turns on him.
Yeah, and it was never.
It looks like Kevin Owens is about to.
Yeah.
Randy Orton's like, no.
Randy Orton, Owens is like.
Is that a crown jewel match? You reckon?
Orton and Cody.
I know people have said, it could be a WrestleMania, it could be a Royal Rumble. I don't know.
I do think they're going to hold on to it for longer. I don't think it's going to be as seen as crown jewel. Cody will work it, but maybe if they're still like tense mates by then, because people are saying Roman solo for crown jewel, aren't they? So maybe
that's a good shout. Yeah.
So maybe Cody and KO in a tag match against the God or something.
Because you got in big picture stuff. You've got Cody loses the title, obviously, at WrestleMania 41. So let's work backwards from there.
Obviously.
He's
fighting the great one, is he not? So.
Chamber. Rumble.
It's not like The Rock's going to win that to get a shot, is it?
Rumble, obviously, main event, Rock wins, enters at number 30. The thing he gave to Cody on the Raw after WrestleMania was a Rumble ball.
No, he wins it.
Already explained that.
That's a very good explanation, but I say he wins it at 31. Because he's changed the rule, like there's 5 people in there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, C4, 3.
Wait, cannot wait for that.
Why are we counting down?
We're getting cans in for that. C4.
Cans of C4?
Yeah.
No. Have you drank one before?
Absolutely not.
Considering that we promoted it 60 times on the Royal Rumble stream, because Wilbourn said it every time the counter got to 4, let me do the opposite of that and say, do not drink C4. They were giving away free cans coming out of, I think it was WrestleMania itself. And I imagined that if you cut the top off a battery and just went, well, bottoms up, I just I just made about everything sort of tingle and that. I needed it because we were walking from WrestleMania to see For the Culture, which is one of the collective shows. And we were like, if we can sacrifice the opener, but we can make it. So I did need the energy boost, but I wish I had gotten it from, I don't know, a nice can of dough.
Nice can of Zoa.
Zoa. I say I didn't have Zoa. That was the other big promotion.
Zoa is goated.
Zoa plus Boozley.
Even Nicholas likes Zoa, and think of the ground that covers with the man who's associated with it. It was given out for free at Wale Mania.
That's Dwayne's tipple, isn't it? Yeah.
And there was like a Hennessy bar backstage.
What's his tequila called?
Oh, hang on.
Dwayne.
I know this, but
what bottle did Gallus go to Sainsbury's to buy and pretend the Rock had bought it?
Terramana.
Terramana and Zoa. Could you put those two things together?
You could possibly, because it goes incredibly, like, because the Hennessy bar was a lot of, do you want any mixer with your Hennessy? I know that Americans drink it that way. I don't. Oh, God. And just you're slowly making it into a nicer and nicer drink with the Zoa energy.
Michael Scott having his Scotch and Splendor. That sort of thing. A Zoa, Terramana, did you say?
Yeah.
A Zoa and a Terramana as a cocktail. You ready for this?
Go on.
Because you go in and you're making it together, and like, where are you probably gonna prepare that drink? You're probably gonna prepare it in the kitchen, right? Mm-hmm. What goes in the kitchen? A cook. The Ava. It's a cocktail name.
Oh my God.
Better. You make a load of them, and then you sort of like, you have a, I don't know, a roof pipe, whatever young cool people do, and then you tip it, and it's like, whoa, you're making it Ava Rain.
I don't get that one. She's only got a surname. She's Rock's daughter, general manager of NXT.
Hey.
Crook of the year. What are we talking about?
The Rocks, for some reason. You were working backwards.
Oh, yeah.
41, where the Rock beats Cody for the title.
Yes. So, but in the next 6 months or whatever. No, that's longer than that. But slightly longer than 6 months. Yeah, you've kind of got to fit in. Well, you don't have to. Cody versus Randy.
Yeah.
Roman Cody. Saturday night's main event.
It looks like a nice date on the calendar for that, doesn't it? A very because you could do, the thing is, you could do Roman Cody as an enormous Rumble title match. But, like,
it's a good way of getting Roman out of the Rumble, isn't it?
But is it too cute, that? Do you know what I mean? Is it a bit too, this is ideal.
At the moment with the Roman and the Rock in the Rumble.
Yeah. See, I think the last...
Who's out? Roman clears the ring. I'm the tribal chief. Who's out next? And it can't really come out of 30 for this, but still. Was there a bit of power outage? Surprise. It's not AJ Styles and the camera's focused on you for some bloody reason. I didn't like you back then, but I like you now. You're right. It's The Rock, and he's got a thing on fire that looks like a ball.
I don't know how the world recovers if The Rock comes out at 31 when the last two people in the Rumble are Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Oh my God.
What does that look like?
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's the so beautiful meme. Yeah.
Perfect.
But you got to fit in Randy somewhere. Mm-hmm. I know people have said it should be a WrestleMania main event. It shouldn't.
The legend killer, Randy Sausage.
So, yeah, you've got to work out where you do that. Survivor Series is out. Maybe it's the Rumble. Yeah,
possibly. That's, again, in terms of, it's almost too cute to keep Roman out because he should look at the Rumble and think, well, I'm not just going anywhere to WrestleMania. If he loses at Saturday night's main event or doesn't get the belt back at Saturday night's main event, he's not just wanting to turn up at WrestleMania and do whatever. He wants the main event. He wants the belt. So Roman should be kind of like going into the Rumble as the heavy favorite. Mm-hmm. And then The Rock screws him or whatever.
That's Jacob Fatu eliminates Roman, of course, from the Rumble.
Also awesome. So yeah, I like the idea of Orton being the guy. I've won Rumbles. I've main evented WrestleManias. This is personal. This is disrespectful because you didn't give me the shot like you gave it to KO. Like you've given your friendship apparently to Roman Reigns. Like you're giving things out, Cody. Like I tell you what I want to talk about is why you won't just give me a title shot and then yeah.
Oh, before we get,
it's good wrestling.
It's amazing. Before we get to some of the matches that are actually scheduled for tonight's show, I have to talk to you more about 2 nights SummerSlam. The news dropped yesterday.
Yep.
Going back to where WrestleMania 35 was, MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. 3rd and 4th of August, I believe.
Like that,
2nd and 3rd, maybe. Early August, regardless.
Yep.
Excited for that?
Yes, I am. I think that the current version of WWE can absolutely cope with it. Mm-hmm. Had this been the case a few years ago, I would have felt pretty depressed by the news because there was definitely a period where the stadium idea that they are finally rolling out seemed like something was happening just because the money was there to do it, not because it warranted it. Do you remember Money in the Bank supposed to take place at Allegiant, and then they just quietly moved it to, was it in 2021? Mm-hmm. Moved it to the MGM maybe. Why are you looking so sad?
I just love Vegas, and I always wish I was there.
Yeah, same. If you are connected to a Vegas hotel or a Vegas accommodation or a Vegas Airbnb owner or anybody that has accommodation available in Las Vegas, we would very much like to speak to you about some interesting collaboration that could benefit both you and us mutually. It's a genuine call out. Mm-hmm. Let us know. You got a friend of a friend? Get in touch. We're very, very interested. We're cooking up some pretty exciting stuff in Las Vegas, but it ain't cheap.
Or do you want to send us thousands of pounds so we can go there?
Yeah.
That'd be appreciated. We'll give you a shout out. We might even give you a free cameo.
Slide into our DMs. We'll discuss. We'll talk turkey. You want to send us thousands of pounds for the benefit of this trip? We will show you. We won't cook the books. We'll show that it all goes towards Las Vegas, and then we'll give you a hell of a time when we're out there. $20 on red on me. No, but we are looking into all this sort of stuff for Las Vegas. So yeah, if you know anybody, please DMs or on Twitter, reach out. We're very
anticipating WrestleMania tickets to be extortionate as well.
Yeah, and we're all there. Look at us, having a grim little UK residents. We just want to go to America, please, sir. Can I have some more America? But we're very, very excited about the potential of some cool things we're trying to cook for this Vegas trip. So yeah, that is of interest to us. The SummerSlam thing, though, MetLife is awesome. If you've ever been, you might know this. I think it's a very nice stadium when you're in there. Kind of a nightmare when you're out of it.
Mm-hmm. Or when it gets really cold.
Yeah, I didn't know until it was unfortunately too late that you can't leave on foot.
Yeah.
You have to get out by car or public transit, which really blew my plans because, like, a quick aside, if you'll permit me. So that was a year that we did a work trip, but my wife and I had planned a New York holiday around WrestleMania. It's me. She married Dr. Fed. And
you wouldn't do that for your honeymoon, though, would you?
That was simply good fortune.
Ms. Cashin, you're right.
Yeah, Ms. Cashin, November 2010. 14 years it'll be since the Ms. cashed in, and also I got married. The Your Work trip came together very late, if I remember correctly. So my WrestleMania plans was in place from like October. It was like a long-term plan thing.
I think we announced it on the Rumble live stream, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, yeah. So like I was like ticket release day type thing because we planned to go to New York and we booked all that, and it was like, well, love, if we're going to go to New York, can I do this? Like, we'd like my children were going to be with my parents anyway, so it was a proper like week away that we never get to, imagine that now. A kid-free week away. Now that you're in the dad club, right?
Yeah.
To New York, no less. And we kind of thought we've wanted to do this for a while, and then you have to put things back because you have children, and then they were both at the age where they were still young enough to just think, cool, we're going to move like Nan and Granddad. You don't exist to us for a week. It was like, well, good news because we're in another country. So my deal was, can we do it in New York because WrestleMania is there and it won't be like a wrestling-centric holiday other than the 3 wrestling shows we attend. Everything was great. Everything was grand. Got the whole wide world in the palm of our hands, and I even booked a Travelodge in New Jersey so that we wouldn't have the stress and strain of the commute because I had done my homework. I'd remembered what people had said about MetLife in 29 and how the traffic and the taxis was so expensive.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
And like I was just like, I don't want any of that for my wife, who's having a lovely time in New York, that then halfway through I bulldozed with wrestling. Mm-hmm. We'll just like, I Googled a Travelodge. It was like a half an hour walk. I knew WrestleMania was going to be long. Even if the battery goes pretty much one walk that way, everything's going to be fine. Or is it? It's the longest wrestling pay-per-view ever. Longest WWE one ever. Becky Lynch went out.
Not for me. I liked it.
I loved it.
It's our first Manias, wasn't it?
Yep. Loved every second. Didn't want it to end, but I was becoming aware of the problems of the admin of it not ending, which was that my phone battery was getting very, very low, as was the temperature. In fact, we were under a roof, but I'm pretty sure it was raining outside, and Becky Lynch has come out, and it's past midnight. So it's getting a little bit edgy, and when we checked into the Travelodge in Jersey earlier on in the day, I took a quick glimpse of the surroundings, and I was like, it's a good job there's going to be a lot of people leaving at the same time as us.
Yeah.
Jersey was nice otherwise. I had a really great day in New Jersey before that. And then we got out and had 3% battery on my phone. And we did a couple of laps of this massive stadium, huge stadium. It was like, well, there's the train tunnel and there's the Uber queue. Mugs. Thank God we're not joining the 10,000 people in an Uber queue. They're not getting anywhere. I bumped into the boys doing some content. Nice to see you guys. Where are you going next? We don't know. Probably just going to join these queues. Suckers. I got digs in Jersey. See you later, guys. Another lap. Oh, it's the boys again. We've gone all the way around. How do we get out? Oh, there's a guy in high vis. You can't, buddy. No, on foot. That takes you to the transit, but I'm pretty sure the last train went half an hour ago. There's a lot of people in that direction, so we'll just go there. Oh, they look really angry. They're fashioning torches out of their WrestleMania programs because they can't leave. It's getting really scary. One more lap of the thing. I hear some American voices, always friendly. And no, man, there's a path just you have to cut through, but there's a path. We're going to go through that way. We're going to get a bit of clearance. And I say to my wife, and she's like, well, should we just ask if we can walk with them? That man was Kev Kellum, a person I've since seen in America, a member of the wrestling media, who I've bumped into / arranged to meet several times in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in Dallas, at various other wrestling events. Shout out to Kev, who in an amazing turn of events was able to lead us on a path that took us through an intersection with like walking along what we would consider like the hard shoulder.
Jesus.
But they knew where they were going, thank God. And to a Dunkin' Donuts, which it was 2 a.m, it was shut, but had Wi-Fi that I was able to log into from the doorway, and with my 3% Uber us back to the hotel. I would say all's well that ends well, but it was definitely one of those things where it was like, this is becoming a real problem.
I'd like to think that
That's my story of MetLife.
accounted for that now, and they'll just say the 2 nights, and they'll just say, we've got unlimited money. Can we pay the train drivers or whoever to run a little bit late? Or it won't even be that late, of course.
It was a blame game the next day, but I think it's the fact that it doesn't need to be late, does it? They can start it. You can have
done by 10, 11, yeah.
6 matches instead of 14. I think WrestleMania 35 had.
Sounds about right.
Maybe 16. Yeah, like SummerSlam was 6, was it? Or 7?
Yeah.
So a couple more than the usual 5-match card.
Yeah.
I want a video package from the New Jersey, New York Tourism Board. How nice it'd be to travel. My favourite place in the whole world is not a million miles away from there. Have you got a favourite place in the whole world?
Las Vegas.
Like a spot? Have you got wherever you've been in the world? Is there anywhere you've travelled where you stopped and you thought, or look, it can be in the UK, it can be at home, it could be on the doorstep of your house in the northeast of England, but have you got a spot in the world that you consider your favourite place in the whole wide world?
It was a bit in, I remember distinctly, I'd had a bit to drink, but I remember standing on some rocks in, I think, Koh Phangan in Thailand, and saying to the lad I was with, we've made it. That sticks with me, that. But if I could teleport anywhere in the world, it would just be the Strip, Las Vegas. Anything's possible.
Slap in the middle of it, yeah.
Yep.
I think I said something like that to you, like we've made it when I nailed that cornhole shot in that bar outside AT&T Stadium.
Oh my God.
We were looking upon the stadium and...
You mentioned that last night, Anne-Louise, we were Eric had been fed, but he was still had a bit of energy, tiring him out before bedtime. And Anne-Louise put on some MTV thing, and it was some audition thing for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Okay, yeah, it's a big spot.
And you think, don't get your minds out of the bloody gutter, right? You think I'm perving on that? No. Anne-Louise thought I was.
Yeah.
I was looking past these girls in skimpy outfits, kicking their legs in the air and going, God, I love that stadium.
Yeah.
I had such a good time there.
Incredible stadium. The bars that were afterwards.
That was so, yeah, the little
got like a man-made lake. And then
that would have been our second Mania after...
Well, it was 2022, so it was the first one outside
yes,
of the pandemic.
So our second Mania after that. So our experience has gone from this night's never going to end. We can't leave. We don't know what to do. We're going to be stuck here for more hours. It's raining. To it's glorious all the time. It's Texas. Yeah. And, oh, hang on, there's just this nice pathway and some lovely people are coming up and saying hello to us and they watch WhatCulture. What's that mirage in the distance? Oh, it's a lovely bar that's still open that we can sit in and record a podcast whilst playing cornhole.
Love that review. We had drinks with people at the bar. Do you remember? We were having shots with people at the bar. It was
and then, what should we do now? That's kind of it's a shame. It's a bit of a downer now because we've done all the excitement of the Mania. We've had the drinks afterwards. What went down, all the chaos of that. Go to the Wrestlers Bar and hang out with Baron Corbin. Sounds like a good plan to me.
It was a good night, that wasn't it?
It's amazing.
It was really fun. I think I've just changed my answer. My favourite place in the world is that Saturday night in Dallas. Now, my favourite place in the whole world geographically is a spot so you cross the Brooklyn Bridge. Any New Yorkers listening? Crazy town. Hell of a town, crazy town. I've been 3 times, so I know that town. I've spent upwards of 2 weeks and 6 days in that town. So don't tell me I don't know anything about New York City. You cross the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's like you walk along. Literally anybody who is local knows it. Walk along inside this pit of danger, and like there's some rocks, and there's like you'd like this. There was like a set of outdoor 5-side pitches, tennis courts.
Oh my God.
Basketball hoops, Matt, and in like cages, and there's just these kids that have no idea that they're basically playing football with a view of that vista that you get on Friends. You know the interstitials in Friends?
Yeah.
And like you can see the Statue of Liberty on your left, you can see the Brooklyn Bridge on your right, you can see the New York skyline. Let me tell you, you want to spend more than a New York minute. Ooh, everything can change, but you want the whole world to stop because I look at that. And I feel like the people that Cody was talking about when he cut his Ellis Island promo, because I'm just like, well, there's Lady f***ing Liberty. And there's the Brooklyn Bridge. And there's the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. I might write that down. And then these kids like playing football and stuff. It's war. And
no one told you life was going to be this way. Have to do it.
It's perfect. It is. I look at that and I'm like, oh, everything I want in the world. And then like a week passes and the country says, get the f*** out of here, you limey Mr. Bean looking ass.
That was fun while it lasted.
That's always the problem with America. It's fun while it lasts, but it never lasts long enough. And then the people that live there are a bit like, you wouldn't want to live here. And I'm like, I don't know, you tried the UK, pal. Like, we got the NHS and the rest of it. I can kind of take it or leave it. Like, I do want to keep that. Can I bring that with me?
Cup of tea, yeah. NHS, Greggs, thanks very much.
Otters are the most dangerous animal.
Mm-hmm.
The NHS, no guns. That's it.
And end of list.
End of list.
But yeah, excited for a 2-night SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Let's get to tonight's show, though. Because we're 35 minutes in or whatever.
Matt Reigns, my best friend, let me know that the NXT preview this week, to be fair, which was as much a 5-year on USA retrospective as it was a preview,
it was good fun, that.
54 minutes before we discussed what was on NXT. Because we were basically...
But he's not one of those stopwatch guys. That's not...
No. He would never time a wrestling match because that would be lame.
Yeah.
He was illustrating a point that there was so much to talk about another aspect of the show, which has happened here, that, the guys have sure taken the time getting to the old preview scale on this preview this week. I would say in that regard, tune in every Friday, not just to the SmackDown preview, but to the Collision preview, where increasingly, what with spoilers and with the lack of announced matches or angles, I am watching with interest and listening with interest as you two find ways to navigate that kind of like choppy water of, right, all the results are out there, or we don't know anything that's happening. I'm very impressed.
We've got
it's
a new
weekly challenge.
We've got a new one planned for today. Check it out later on today. We've got something exciting.
Can we say follow Michael Sidgwick for an update?
Yeah.
On that, if it's not yet happened, you can get a bit of a glimpse in what that might be.
But yeah, like you said, Bad Blood just over a week away, and tonight it's a number 1 contenders match because both Bayley and Naomi pinned the Queen last week, which I assume meant just being a triple threat. I still think it's going to be a triple threat.
Yeah.
But how do you see this one going? Is it as straightforward? We thought we had it all figured out last week. It's going to be a DQ. It's going to be really disappointing. But there's still a bit in my head, as much as New WWE is vastly improved compared to where we were, that stupidly, aside from that time Roderick Strong did it in a match between Keith Lee and Dijak, as who's latterly known, Tiffany Stella and all the Queen's going to be like, I'm going to get them both, contested and no winner, so no opponent for me, I assume. And this is never going to go wrong.
Yeah. Possibly. We underestimated, I think, slightly, the Wrestling Observer's Executive Producer of the Year, Paul Levesque.
Oh, you mean H? Get the speech out. bit of the set that's fallen down. Whoa! Woo! 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 What are we talking about?
I wonder why some podcasts still persist with the sticker that they are the UK's best wrestling podcast. When the charts make them out to be a liar, when a dead man makes them out to be a fool, and when moments like that make the Emmy committee out to be cheats, liars, and frauds for not submitting this YouTube video for consideration.
I think that's what we have to call him from now on, don't we? That's how we have to introduce him every single time.
Especially on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Especially when cinema is being curated.
Bayley versus Naomi then, what we saying?
Triple threat. Yeah.
Is it that straightforward that...
I like that, sorry, Rafon's really eyeballing me.
Weird, yeah, I don't like it. It's like me not wearing my glasses.
The two ways they go with this, obviously, the Bayley teases of heel Bayley by bringing back Ding Dong Hello, by kind of being a bit obnoxious to Nia, haven't yet overlapped to Naomi. She actually did play her part in the team trying to win and then just thought, well, it's my title match too, I want it. There's no shame in that. I think they've potentially been sitting on a Naomi heel turn for several months, which would be a kind of reaction to bad booking that you then fold into the fiction. You know, like she wasn't really well handled when she came back and the frustration can grow, that sort of thing. They use the 1D, which ties them to the bloodline, but which version of it? Good or blood? Big game. So I think the heel turn is not as obvious between the two of them. You could absolutely justify either, and I think it's going to be a nice sort of surprise, whoever it is. But I think in the meantime, yes, you do end up at the triple threat.
Or is it, rather than being like stupid heels thinking that the thing that always happens isn't going to happen, is it actually they've gone out and put on such a ripper that both of their shoulders are down?
Oh, okay. And then, so it's done the honourable way.
Yeah.
One of those, like, it's weird how sometimes wrestlers who have wrestled 100 million matches in their life that understand that if you do a German suplex and leave your own shoulders down, you too will be pinned. And just forget this one time out of exhaustion.
Or what's the other one they do? I've got you in a submission, but I've forgotten that both of my shoulders are down. 1, 2, 3, tap, 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 tap.
That could be it. The old Dave Man, Kurt Angle finish that they didn't perform correctly, so I think they had to get like a load of production staff to sit in the crowd to fill the empty seats, sort of things they could shoot tight in on it.
You remember how it looked?
Yeah.
This, right?
Yeah. Be funny if like the Undertaker had gotten his hair cut and it was then.
What?
Oh, I can't wear another wig. They made me look like an asshole in that wig the last time. Aye, triple threat still.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right, maybe a nicer finish than just the cheap stuff they're running. So, but what about this? What about if Tiffany Stratton comes out, causes a DQ, both are down, Nia's like, "Way!" and then she goes to do the like, annihilator on one, and then like, say Naomi helps Bayley, or vice versa, it doesn't really matter, and they suddenly get the advantage on Nia, and at this point, like, Tiffany has slid out, and then Nia's left laying by the two baby faces, and Tiffany's like, and it's another tease of that.
I don't like red versus blue, but I did just think then, aside from the world title, you would have Tiffany Stratton versus Rhea Ripley at Survivor Series. Possibly.
I mean, I like that.
In my booking.
Yeah.
And Yeet versus Yeah. Okay.
I've had to bring
do you
those
want to blow the roof off the place or what?
We doing this or what? Yeah.
But then I think actually Jade's going to be in War Games.
I lose track of which nostalgia posts annoy me the most. I replied to one yesterday because guess the Undertaker never had a bad theme, did he? And it was the friggin' "You've done it now. I'm gonna
Here come on, we go back.
Badasses always kicking asses ass. Oh, maybe it was good actually, but anyway, anyway, people nostalgize everything. And when you see the, who misses these Survivor Series, right, guys? It's just the red versus nobody.
Nobody.
Absolutely nobody. I like the Under Siege thing that one week, that one time.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a shock. Like Becky Lynch, the whole deal, that was pretty cool. That's about it. What are we talking about? Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, title for title. Cashing in.
I think Nia Jax getting cashed in on having been involved in a triple threat on a singles match protects her, is what I'm saying.
You could see it.
Yeah. Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes 6, I think, tonight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andrade leads 3-2.
Yep.
Big old fight last week after Andrade versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
I think Melo wins this one, obviously.
Yeah, I think so. There's not a lot to say. Truthfully, I kind of feel your collision thing here.
Does Andrade get DQ'd?
He can do more JS.
Kick it for he's just 2.
He uses a weapon, maybe, yeah. I've liked the matches and they've actually improved. So their chemistry, like, it's kind of what should happen, but doesn't always. You know how, like, you would think, it's like me and you have podcasted together for 7 years now. Jeez. Like, is it nearly 8? Colton? Let us know. But
I started in 2017.
Right, yeah. So I started very, very late 2016. So it'll be, but we only started, it was TLC 2017 we were talking about, weren't we? In those very early Raw and SmackDown synopsis days. So that was late.
Colton, let us know, one of the day ones.
Late 2017. So that's 7 years. Like, if we at this point had somehow...
Just call me the 7-year bitch.
As I was saying, if we had conspired to somehow get worse, but that could never happen, you'd be thinking...
Constantly evolving.
Yeah, you'd be thinking, how is that possible? They know each other better. They've spent time together. Hamflett knows when he's going to say something like 7-year bitch.
Caught you off guard on the news, though, this morning.
Stay tuned.
That's how you keep your partner entertained. Always keep him guessing.
Or get tuned, whatever it is. Watch the news. He does it twice, actually. Because that's the kind of guy he is. Yeah,
after all these years, I always want to...
Yeah, you think...
Remind you of how things started.
You think, you're getting pretty...
Who's this annoying ginger twat coming to hang around me and Sitch playing pool?
you got kids, you got work commitments, you're pretty tired. You think, no, go on then once, I suppose, before it gets too late. No, he pops you twice. That's the kind of guy he is. What are we talking about?
Andrade Melo.
The chemistry has improved in a way that sometimes with wrestlers, they kind of like start to get a bit dull together.
Mm-hmm.
And these matches are getting better. And it does help that there are not stakes officially. One of them was for a US title shot, but even that was like, it's not really about that, is it? It's about the numbers. And they're in front and they're in front. I think I want it to go past best of 7 for the patter.
I agree.
Like, I know we've said 3-3, so there has to be a decider. And sure enough, there's going to be a PLE and like Saudi if they can't fit on the bad blood card. But what about if we just go to the end of the year or something like that? And it's like, who's won the most by December 31st?
I think I've worked out what the finish is tonight.
Okay.
Right? If they're smart about this, what was the main thing that everyone, aside from the title retention, that everyone was talking about regarding that match last week?
The awkward handshake fist bump thing at the end because of the LA Knight botch. Well, not
Which
because
was
of getting clocked in the head by Andrade.
I think Melo fakes a concussion or an injury. Like, he does the spinning back elbow, and Melo's like, I know it's part of the match, but like, I think I'm out. I think he's caught me there. And the rest, whoa, wait a second. Mm-hmm. Jessica Cole, whoa, just, I need to, you've got protocol here. Oh, where am I? Roll up!
I like that. I do like that, yeah. And Andrade, like, it's...
Have fun, baby!
You loser! but withdrawing!
Yeah.
Tie game! Yeah, I like that. That's good. And you need little creative finishes, reasons why after when wrestlers know each other inside and out, how they win and lose matches. So yeah, I'm into that.
And it's the perfect, 3-3 babyface heel dynamic. Best one probably since Chesterfield versus Middlesbrough in 1997, so...
I'm angry on your behalf for that. It was good that Chelsea put them to the sword at Wembley.
Squad, Roberto.
Roberto Di Matteo, 42 seconds.
Just sat there as a child. Chesterfield wouldn't have done that.
Smoggy's travelled all the way down to London. How'd that work out, huh?
Didn't have David Ellery on your side that day, did you?
What happened in...
Daily Star printed out badges that said, I witnessed the robbery that my dad bought.
Brilliant. That's great.
Like a sheriff's thing.
Karmic justice there, wasn't it? Because Middlesbrough went to 2 finals, lost them both, and got relegated because Brian Robson couldn't play a team against Blackburn. They got a 3-point deduction. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Two cup finals robbed you of your squad.
So American listeners have no idea what we're talking about.
No, it's all right. They switched off probably a good 45 minutes ago. The friends of ours at Leangate Valves.
Hey, Lee.
Lee, let us know what your memories, either yours or family memories, of the great robbery by Middlesbrough in the Cup. And we still one day do want to meet and have a lovely day.
Yes, we're going to get this in the diary soon.
Please do. Like, it's something we're very excited. A daddy day out. Like, Sidge has expressed an interest as well.
Yeah.
Like a daddy day out in Chesterfield. The game, some pints, some pies in bread, and then some. I'll wear a Leangate Valves Chesterfield top all day long, brother.
Speaking of friends of the show, shout out to James Rice, who got in touch with me. I read this to you the other day, and I forgot to give him a shout out when we were talking about dangerous animals in Australia.
Oh, that's what another America thing. Well, yeah, more dangerous animals there.
Yes, and James mentioned his treacherous drive home after an OPW show, just a 5.5 hours driving back, dodging goats that run across the road, wombats, kangaroos, and galahs.
I didn't know a galah was an animal.
Me
I
neither.
just thought they were an idiot that was flaming. Wombat. Like, are you kidding me? Wombats and goats hitting your cars. We already know that kangaroos will F you up. You say it was a video of a woman? This is, again, Twitter. Just being like, have this. You scared? Have more. Keep you up at night. Just like, kangaroo was like going through some bins or something. She's like, oh my God, I'm really scared. And she was frightened, and then it just went, bep, bep, bep. It just hopped his way down the street. But there's like, where's people live there? It was like it was out in the outback or something. Like, it was just, God.
But yeah, really interesting tales of girls and boys and marsupials there from James Rice.
That's a wombats joke, everybody. The best, of course you love the wombats. I bet they were a big part of your radio.
Yes, sir.
I've met someone who makes me feel seasick. What a skill to have and what a skill. So many ways to make you distinctive. All right, I remember them from the Indie Disco.
Band stuff.
Band stuff.
Remember the other day, I promised this and I'm going to deliver. I'm a man who always lives on his promises.
Is it less dance to Joy Division? Because if I was going to listen to a Joy Division song, I'd want to do it on a roller coaster.
No, it is tribute band names. Remember the other day I promised you this?
Okay.
Because we went to see Oasis or whoever. Oasis I went to see. You went to see.
I'd seen Definitely Might Be.
That's it.
I've also seen Rip Off the Machine, DCAC.
Good. I found a great Reddit thread.
The Food Fighters I'd seen.
Good stuff. The Everly Pregnant Brothers?
No.
Saw that when I was looking for this.
Who are the other tribute? I've not seen a load of tribute bands. Go on, sorry, yeah.
I just found a list, so I just want to read a few of them out and get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Tribute to Crowded House, Empty Flat.
Oh, God.
Tribute to Elbow called Arse.
I've heard of that before. Yeah, I like that.
Brian Maiden.
It's good.
Another AC/DC tribute band, Highway to Hull.
Good.
Fat group of people doing a tribute to one of the greatest Swedish pop groups ever.
Flabber.
Correct.
Yes.
Take Fat.
Good.
It's a Kiss tribute band. You want to take a guess at what that name is?
Miss.
Snog.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nice.
I don't like snog.
No, I don't like it as a word, no. Snogging and romping were like big tabloid words, weren't they?
Yeah,
for,
boffins are all over that.
Snog boffins reckon there's a new way to kiss. Find out on page 4.
No Way Sis is quite good.
They made it into the charts.
Really?
Yeah. At some point on my Top of the Pops rewatch, you're going to see them because they were a big enough tribute band. They made it into the charts. No Way Sis. I think they did. I'd like to teach the world to sing.
So I'm just enjoying some of these.
Go on.
Just Pig Floyd.
I remember.
Okay. Tribute band for the group Yes.
No.
And I think my favourite that I've read on this, and feel free to send us more, other than there's a Australian band called Butterfingers.
Right.
There's a tribute band called I Can't Believe It's Not Butterfingers.
Oh, that's good.
But my favourite, I think, is a Limp Bizkit tribute band called Flaccid Bourbon.
Did you not have tea last night?
What?
Sleeve of bourbons.
Anything else?
I had a cup of tea, so some of them were flaccid because I was dunking. Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah, I did. Roast chicken crisps. It's Thursdays. I was in, sorted the kids' tea. They were like pretty settled. They're watching a bad film. I had to pretend it was good, but it was bad. So it was called like We Can Be Heroes. The kids are superheroes. Have got like Save the Day.
Bowie, sort of.
Where they've only used the title of the song.
Brilliant.
Like it's rubbish. It's on Netflix. And they were just like, they were content, and it was like, I should be sending them to bed, but they're fine. And it's like, I just went in the kitchen, did a bit of washing up. I was like, I'm pretty hungry now, but I don't want to cook something, and then I've got to still like get around and reading a story and chilling out with them and stuff. So I just some biscuits and I just ate the sleeve of bourbon. Got put them there while I was washing up. I have one.
Bourbon's class. You know what biscuit I'd be if I was a biscuit? A Wilbourn.
He loves this. And I do too, actually.
And Brian, you are spoilt for choice today.
But I was drying, you have to, when you put the biscuits, well, I'm not going to eat them all because then you have to dry your hands each time you're busy washing it. It's a rigmarole and that's like, so eat 3 at a time. And I like the bourbon because there's like a ceremony around it. You can take it apart, you can eat it as like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways you can
ceremony.
Yeah, there's a few different ways to eat a bourbon. You can really enjoy it. You can take your time with it. You don't have to it. You can make love to it. But like in this case, I'll that whole pack. Like I was going like sort of 2 or 3 at a time, just like the bite. You know, some people with a 4-finger Kit Kat.
I reckon you already finished the pots. I think you were making more pots.
yeah,
oh no, the plate's dirty now.
Eating the biscuits over the plate, crumbs everywhere. Oh bloody hell! A new pot in the sink. Keep repeating. Whole sleeve of bourbons are just destroyed. And then I was like, well, that's a bit too sweet for you, Need something savoury. Roast chicken crisps.
One final thing I want to ask you about ahead of tonight's SmackDown. Giovanni Vinci's losing streak. He kicked Baron Corbin's ass tonight.
Yeah, another match or another angle. What do you think?
I think Corbin takes the piss out of him backstage, saying, "I saw what you did to my mate just because he's beaten you twice, and now you've sort of got more of an unhinged Giovanni."
He's raised their ire, and they're going to fight next week, and we just see a slow continuation of it. Yeah, I could see that.
Or I like the idea of I don't want to bury anyone, so I'm not going to name a specific name, but someone who's really established as a bit of a jobber.
Mm-hmm.
Who basically goes to, oh God, I can't remember the SmackDown GM's name. Maybe it'll come to me.
Stay tuned.
Goes to visit him and says, I want to face Giovanni Vinci, please. He looks like an easy match. And either Vinci loses again because Apollo Crews maybe comes back out and goes, dickhead, or he just goes, are you taking the piss? I've got to start from here.
Do you know what it could be?
Who?
Ricky.
Oh my God.
Yes! Yes!
That's perfect. I think Ricky gets the win. Oh. That's what they do.
And Ricky's like, if I keep racking up these wins, maybe I'll get a title shot. Randy Orton kills him.
Yeah.
Who's attacked Ricky? My neck hurts.
It's that guy off my bus. Because they were Doobie Brothers, weren't they, the other week?
Yeah. Well, let us know your thoughts ahead of SmackDown and on biscuits.
Thoroughly, haven't we?
Band names, film, I think we've covered pretty much SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Everything.
Favourite place in the world. Let us know your favourite place in the world with a picture if you wish. I would genuinely like to know that, and it'd be less scary than the animal stuff you've been sending me.
WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll, of course, be back on Monday to review SmackDown. At WhatCulture WWE on X. You can follow Michael Hamflett on there at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said, though. But this has been the SmackDown preview, where we've discussed potentially more cinema going down on tonight's episode. Giovanni Vinci's losing streak, a 2-night SummerSlam, biscuits, Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes 6, and who is heading to Bad Blood?
The SmackDown preview, it's got all this and so much more.
We'll see you soon.